Hi, this is PJ Graham. Welcome to this week's NABI Chicago News. Our next local NABI Chicago tournament is Sunday morning, March the 18th, and being hosted by Classic Bowl. Classic Bowl is located at 8530 Waukegan Road in Morton Grove, Illinois. Their phone number is area code 847-965-5300, and you can view their website at bowlbowlbowl.com. This is a bowlbowlbowl.com Bonanza sweeper being rolled on Classic Shot number 1, which is actually a Kegel Sport pattern number 2839. This is a 39-foot pattern with heavier units in the middle. The last time we had this shot out at Classic was New Year's Day for the year-end championships, and it saw handicap cuts of 625 for the first squad and 619 for the second squad. The eventual champion of that event, Hall of Famer Bill Doyle, used a Motive Raptor to qualify with and a Motive Primal later in the day for his match play. If you haven't figured it out by now, NABI Chicago is proudly sponsored by Motive Bowling. The brand new Motive Raptor Attack was just released and is specifically designed to handle those sketchy conditions that happen on sport conditions towards the end of the day. So ask your local pro shop to get your Motive Raptor Attack today. At our sweeper on Classic Sunday, check-in will open at 9:30 a.m. with squads at 10:30 a.m. and noon. The bowler with the high handicap series on a 10:30 a.m. squad is guaranteed to finish no lower than second place in the tournament. You can cash twice at this sweeper, but only once in the top 3 spots. Those bowlers that check in for both squads at the same time can enter the optional 6-game side event. We also have some changes to the combo pot this Sunday at Classic. Even though we've already paid out over $3 grand in the combo pot so far in 2012, the strike pot hasn't been hit once since we brought in the combo pot to the tour last May. So that's obviously not acceptable. Pots should be difficult, but they shouldn't be impossible. When we first put this together, we copied strike pots from various centers around the Chicagoland area. But obviously what they use in leagues apparently is too difficult for us to hit on our sport conditions. So we're making a couple of changes this Sunday at Classic. The first is going from a 2-tier system to a 3-tier system as far as how many strikes that you need to hit the pot. So we've added a new tier, which is specifically just for our bowlers that average 135 to 155. The second tier is now 156 to 175, and the third tier is 176 and above. Bowlers in that first tier only need 9 strikes, the second tier need 10, and the third tier need 12 strikes, still 1 in each frame. So we've also made another change. It used to be that you had to strike on the third shot of the 10th, which forced you to go spare strike, or strike, strike, strike in the 10th frame in game 1 if you were a higher average bowler. We've changed that. So now that first game is just any strike in the 10th frame for Tier 2 and Tier 3 bowlers. Tier 1 bowlers do not even need a strike in the 10th frame in that game 1. And last but not least, the final change we've made is when the combo pot reserve gets over $8,000. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but we're almost there. We're already over $7,000. So once it reaches over $8,000, we will draw a number at the beginning of the day before anybody bowls between 1 and 9. And that card that's drawn will be the frame that be your mulligan. So as the way the pot's set up is everybody's got to strike once between the 3 games of frames 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we'll draw a card once it's over $8 grand, and one of those frames will be a freebie. You won't have to strike in it. So hopefully these 3 changes to the strike pot will see more of you leaving with more cash every weekend at NABI Chicago tournaments. Our most recent tournament was held Saturday, March the 10th, and hosted by Stardust Bowl in Addison, Illinois. This event was using our new NABI Chicago Eliminator format that we rolled out on the tour in 2011. We ran it 3 times in 2011. In each event, it grew in popularity. That didn't change this time. As it grew again, 46 bowlers showed up for the main squad, including 13 new faces. So we want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting the club. For those of you who never bowled eliminator format, here's what it is. Instead of having multiple squad sweeper, we have one big squad that we start out with, round 1, which is 3 games across 6 lanes, just like normal sweeper. Only 1 out of 3 bowlers will advance to round 2 and are still bowling. Immediately after that first main round, there's a second chance round for those that didn't make the cut, which is a single game, and one of three of those bowlers advance to round 2 as well. Now, round 2 and all subsequent rounds are single game eliminations, so this is fast and furious competition. We keep cutting the field in half from round 2 and beyond until we're down to the championship match. All bowlers that advance to round 3 cash in this event. So the cashing ratio stays the same as it is for our sweepers at 1 out of 6. But once again, more bowlers get to bowl more games, which I think is more fun. Saturday's tournament Stardust was rolled on their shot number 1, which is in fact Kegel Sport Pattern 2235. This is the shortest pattern on a NABI Chicago tour, along with the PBA Cheetah. And bowlers were able to find success from multiple different angles and multiple different speeds. So everybody was able to find a shot on this pattern, which was sort of nice. It took 607 with handicap to advance to round 2 from the main squad, and 207 with handicap to advance to round 2 from the second chance squad. To go from round 2 into round 3, where the money is, it took 211 with handicap. To go from round 3 to round 4, it took 206 with cap, and then it got pretty serious. With 5 bowlers left competing for the 2 spots in the championship match, it came down to the 10th frame, and all 4 bowlers had a chance to grab one of those 2 spots. When the dust cleared, Rick Zeller advanced with the 237 handicap game, and he was joined in the championship match by 70-year-old Ron Mays with the 231. Just missing were Christian Pimentel with the 228 and Vince Mayweather with the 225. Rounding out the top 5 was relatively new member Eugene Royal in the second tournament, finished with a 201 handicap game. So that brings us to our championship match. We're going to split that into a separate video for those of you that don't want to watch both to see my ugly face. And just so you know, I did try to get Debbie to do these newscasts, but she wasn't comfortable doing it. I know she's much more pleasing to the eye. So I'll put some sort of mask or cartooning over this particular video so you don't turn into stone when you watch it. But the second video from this weekend will in fact be our championship match. I apologize in advance for the quality of the video. The first championship match that we recorded, we used a little tiny regular pocket camera that just also records video, and it came out pretty good. It just didn't zoom well down the lanes to see the pin decks. So we brought out our HD camcorder, which is supposed to be one of the best made on a consumer level, and it proceeded to turn out terrible. I have no idea why. We're trying to figure it out if it's a setting or if the camera itself is broken, but the autofocus apparently wasn't working, so it's sort of blurry. There seems to be a little wave going through it, so we do apologize for that, and hopefully we'll have it fixed before the next time we film a championship match. But if you're wanting to see the championship, I'm not going to give you the result here, just to leave a little bit of suspense in the match. So thank you for tuning in to this week's NABI Chicago News, and we hope to see you all out there Sunday, March the 18th, bright and early. Check-in opens at 9:30 at Classic Bowl in Morton Grove.